ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the first episode of ABJ Podcast, episode number 1. I'm here with my boy Andrew Pizzo. I don't want to butcher the last name again. He's backstage waiting right now. But before I get into this, I want to let you guys know, welcome to the ABJ Podcast. If you were into anything I did in the IWEP network, whether it came to professional wrestling, pop culture, spooky paranormal, interviews with everyday people, this is everything kind of crashed into one, and I'm very excited to take everyone on this journey. For the start of this will be a lot remote, but I do have a plan to start going with two people and doing stuff on location with the camera setup I want to do. Unfortunately, budget wise, I'm not quite there yet, but I want to get this started and rolling. I don't want to wait until I get the funds to get what I have. But if you want to support this podcast, check out the link tree below to find all things that I do. I have a Patreon that you can support, as well as merchandise or donations if you'd like to. Also, link below for everything that's for my guest. You can buy the movie we're about to talk about. You can check it out on IMDb, or you can follow him on Facebook. So without further ado, let me bring in my guest, Andrew. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Nothing. I am super excited about this. So if for the people who are brand new to the ABJ podcast, welcome. If for people who have listened to our previous episode, we've done this before on interviews with everyday people. You came over, we talked about the movie, and then I had a private screening, which we talked about, which I've been flexing on everybody because I got to see the movie and they didn't. But now everyone can see it, which is exciting.
Oh yeah, I'm excited too. You know, it was a lot of there were a lot of hardships getting the movie out there and making sure it was released the way I wanted it to be released. You know, I wanted it to be this big limited release because you know, most times when you get a distribution deal, you have to buy like 30,000 copies, and what happens is if no one buys them, they end up in either your closet, your garage, wherever, or you have to sell them to in bulk to like places like Dollar Tree, and that's why you see like Fast and Furious there for like $1.25, and I just wasn't gonna have that, you know. So we put a lot of time and effort into making slip covers and a new poster design, getting it out there looking great, you know, that way people actually want to buy it, and doing all the bonus features, a new ending, deleted and extended scenes, bloopers, music videos, trailers, you know, the whole 9 yards, and an awesome commentary with me and a few of the cast members. We barely talk about the movie, but we do, you know, dive into it.
It's like a live podcast while you're watching.
It really is. You know,
I love it.
It's like
Flan on it.
Yeah, and he's the loudest one. You know, it's awesome. You know, we started drinking a little bit, and we just watched the movie, recorded it, and it just turned into what it was, and it's fun. It's like a whole nother aspect of the movie, and being able to talk about it with the cast and crew members that were there. So it's just so awesome.
Absolutely. So this is the storyline of the movie that you could find on IMDb. So Madeline and her college friends take a midsummer vacation to their family's cabin to get one last get together before life sets in. During a drug-induced journey, they have a deadly encounter with one of the country folks, which leads to them trying to cover up their tracks. When the county folk find out that they are who they are and what they have done, all hell breaks loose. Watch as these cities folks fight to save themselves in this action-packed, thrilling, all-American horror movie that will leave you breathless. That is the absolute best synopsis you're going to get for a movie. Before we get any further, I want to put out right now, there are some explicit things that we're going to talk about. We're not going to give away anything in the movie, but if you do buy this movie or go check it out, there is absolute big trigger warnings in this. There are crazy violence. There is a little bit of we'll just say, I know like some platforms you can't say certain words, so we'll say there is a grape scene. You can use your imagination, and there's, like I said, it gets pretty wild.
It is. It's very
wild. So that is where I'm going to lead in with my first question. As I say, thank you real quick to the first person in the chat saying ABJ. So getting our first love there. Thank you so much, Alex. This movie went through a lot of hardships, right? You're saying you wanted this released the way you intended it to be released. There's a lot of pushback you got of saying they wanted specifically 3 things cut out of this movie. We don't have to get into what they are, but there was 3 things they wanted out. There was imagery of them in the movie. this one I don't think is too much of a spoiler, but there was imagery of a swastika in the movie. That was
Yeah.
a big pushback.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah. And then there was 2 scenes that they either want it cut or at reshot or redone, and you wanted to keep them the way they were.
Yeah, exactly. Distribution companies, along with film festivals, because we did the film festival first before looking for distribution, film festivals just kept denying it. You know, even Reading Film Festival, they messaged me right after I submitted, and they gave me my money back. They're like, I'm sorry, we can't screen this movie. You know, thank you for submitting. Maybe next year you could submit something else. And, you know, at the time I was like, that's awesome. You know, I set out to do what I wanted to do. But the thing is, you know, these festivals are outlets for me to show the movie to people that want to watch it. And most of the festivals we did get into were like the hardcore horror festival, you know,
Your niche market.
Yeah, Phoenix Horror Con, you know, stuff like that. Like festivals made for a movie like this, because it's not mainstream. You know, I don't like the mainstream movies, and that's how Backroad evolved into what it was. You know, I was tired of watching a movie and it's the same damn thing over and over again. You know, an opening scene with no gore and it's supposed to hook you in. I wanted to do an opening scene where you know exactly what kind of movie you're watching, and it's not.
And you do.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and people are blown away. They're like, "Wow!" Like,
Literally blown.
Like, what am I about to watch? And you're about to watch Backroad, and you know, then there's people, hardcore fans, you know, the fans of this kind of movie, that come up to me and they're like, it wasn't X-rated enough, and I agree with them. I'm like, yeah, I agree. It was exactly what I had the budget to do, and hopefully with the sequel, which I kind of announced, didn't really announce yet, but it is written. I want to start shooting that next year, since Backroad is kind of blowing up right now, because you know, we sold more than half our stock so far, and the signed copies went like hotcakes. They sold out about 2 weeks ago, and there really wasn't too much of a buzz. Like, you know, movies like The Terrifier, they have so much money and they're going to get more money to keep pushing Terrifier on all these outlets. And we have we have no money backing us. You know, I have like $20 in my wallet right now for lunch, you know? So, I mean,
Life of an artist, right?
Oh yeah, a struggling autist, you know, feel for me. But, you know, just getting it to the right places, and even distribution companies, you know, after the festival run was, I don't want to say it was a failure. It was more of a not quite to the extent that I thought it was going to go. But that's when I started reaching out to distribution companies, and even distribution companies reaching out to me. And I'm sending back and forth, you know, the screener cut. And they're like, awesome movie, but we're going to give you nothing and cut it, and then hopefully never give you a paycheck again, you know? And it's like, no, you know, get out of here, F off, you know, because, you know, I want to be able to make some money. And that's when Scream Team came in, and just really kind of took it off. They were like, dude, this is a movie we want to show. And they even encouraged me to re-edit the movie so there's even more gore and longer scenes of gore. And I was like, I'm done with Backroad. You know, I spent years just cutting it together and getting it all fixed up. I watched it a million times. I want it out there. Just get it out there. And
Yeah,
they did. And it's fantastic. When I opened the box they sent me and I looked at it, I mean, I had like a tear rolling down my eye, because like, this is my movie. It's exactly how I envisioned it coming out, at least, you know. And you know, I'm just a fan doing it for other fans, not mainstream fans, you know, people like my friends, you know, degenerates that like watching
us scumbags.
Yeah, scumbags, you know, trash, you know, the trash of the universe. But yeah, so there were a lot of hardships, you know, making the movie, to the point where actually making the movie, when we were going around and causing search and rescues, and causing hell, making a mess. That was the easy part. It was the easiest part was making the movie, not getting it out there. So I'm feeling up to it to getting part 2 done next year. Kind of put a rush on that. So
yeah. So yes, in the comments it says, "Is Mr. Pizzo director?" Yes, he is the director, editor, creator, writer. He is
I
all
shot
but
it.
all shot it. He
Yeah.
is all but acting in it, essentially. um, yeah, he is the lifeblood to this, which is my huge props to you, man. Because like I said, you set out. Even doing this podcast, I get people like, "Yo, if you make it this or you do that, or you like, that's not my vision. I don't want to be the next that thing. I want to do
Yeah.
something on my own." Yeah, like I said, the buzz even locally is hot. People are pumped for it. People excited. Now you did have there is a story that we covered in the podcast, but we'd be remiss if we didn't cover it once again here. So you said a little hint there of a search and rescue situation that you had with your movie. Let's talk about how the state police and FBI got involved with your movie.
All right. It wasn't the state, the FBI. It was
Yeah,
just
I'm
police,
hyping
state
up
and
a little
local.
bit. Yeah,
Thank
state and
God.
local police. Yeah.
So we shot a scene, and it wasn't even like a gory scene. It was basically it's a hit and run, and they dump the body of they hit a child, and they dump his body at a stripping pit. And we had permission to be there, first and foremost, because we called Pig Naughty, and they sent a guy out to lead us up to this little area that you'll see in the movie. And we dumped the body, and there was blood, some blood splatter and stuff like that. Nothing too major, just blood splatter. Well, somebody stumbled upon it on a quad. Maybe they were going swimming, I don't know. And they saw the blood, and they were like, "Whoa, that's we got to call the cops," And we did see like quad riders and dirt bike riders like passing us when we shot that scene. And we're shooting in like a really nice like 2015 Lincoln Navigator, all blacked out, with tinted windows and stuff. Definitely not a car you want to be back, on a dirt road with. So they probably just thought that was suspicious, called the cops. They came out, they searched the stripping pit. They
Now
sent
you guys are when the cops arrive, you guys are done filming,
yeah,
gone for the day. Yeah,
I'm at home. I'm at
yeah.
home, cleaning the truck because of course, there's blood in the truck. It's not my truck to use. I wanted to wash it, wax it, return it nice, fill it up with gas. And my mom sends me a message, and it's a Scoop News report about.
Love Scoop News, by the way.
Oh, I love Scoop News. It's a report about suspicious activity near Raven Run or something along those lines. I read it, and I'm like, Raven Run, I was up there. I wonder what happened. Not thinking like it could be me, And the next morning, it was a long weekend. That was Sunday night. Next morning was Monday morning, and it was a busy weekend. We had blood everywhere. We shot all gore scenes that weekend, and that was the least amount of gore we actually shot. And I wake up the next morning and I read the report. I'm like, I should really contact them, because if we were up there and we did leave a little bit of a bloody mess, which you can't clean up fake blood from dirt. You just let the rain wash it out eventually. But I call the state police and kind of tell them everything that happened. And I was asking questions where it was, and they told me where it was. I was like, yeah, that was probably me that did that mess. And there really wasn't anything he could do, to me, because since I had permission, which as any filmmaker, I
Get permission
all the time, no matter where you are, especially if you're making a mess like that, or you're shooting a horror movie where people are screaming, cops just delay the day. And when, like me, when I'm working literally 14, 15 hours a day, controlling all these people making this movie, I don't have time to lose to talk to the cops about what we're doing.
Mhm.
That actually annoys the hell out of me because I'm focused on making the movie. And like when people come up and they want to talk to you while you're in work mode, it's just like, dude, I got a job to do. You could sit there and watch, and like maybe on lunch break we could talk, but we got to get stuff done. Because I hate wasting people's time, and I hate wasting my time as well. So you want to keep on track the entire time, and once you get off track, it's hard to get back on track
Mhm.
because everyone's laughing and either drinking or getting high, whatever they're doing to pass the time. So always get permission. I know that's what it all comes down to, and maybe hire security that they could just kind of push people away if you're filming like an intense scene in public. Luckily for me, Backroad was all in the country. We saw 3-4 cars passing by us when we were shooting the cop scene where they pull the kids over,
Mhm.
and nobody stopped and asked, "Oh, you guys okay? What are you guys doing here?" I think we had a lawnmower, someone on a lawnmower come down and just ask us if we were okay, and we're like, "Yeah, we're fine. We're just shooting a movie." He's like, "Okay," and he turned around and went back home. But
Which is a great alibi if you actually do commit a murder. Just be like, "Yeah, we're shooting a movie," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, see you later."
carrying a body out of fucking a car, and it's like, "What are you guys doing over here? We're making a movie." Oh, okay, see you.
Yeah, I think there was a documentary I watched about a guy who was like killing people in his garage, and he would literally tell his neighbors that like, "Hey, I shoot movies in my garage, so you might hear screaming and you might like and hear like loud noises." And his neighbor's like, "Oh yeah, he just shoots movies over there." And then the cops like, "No, no, he was killing people."
Oh,
Like, yeah, that legit happened once. Yeah,
oh wow,
yeah.
that's awesome.
But yeah, so what ended up being the result of this? The cops said they actually took samples and everything like that. Like
Yeah,
it almost cost them a little bit of a penny to stumble across this scene. And by the time you were able to realize, oh, that might have been me.
yeah, it was about $25,000.
Add
Just
that
over.
to the budget, man. You guys nailed it.
No, I'm not adding that to the budget. I mean, they should have just gave me the money. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we'll make it better. But that's more than our whole budget for a movie.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people don't get that. Like they see it's shot well, and like the performances are phenomenal all across the board, and they think it's like this multi-million-dollar movie, and it's like, no, I'm just a guy who has a camera and knows what he's doing, and I'm making this movie. It's not like there's any backing. Most of the money, came from my pocket or producers' pockets, and it's not much, for what we did and how we actually shot it. I mean, I've seen worse movies shot for, $200 million, like, well, maybe not $200 million, but,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not a Marvel guy, I'm more DC. So just about every recent Marvel movie, I'm kind of off the superhero phase.
Now,
Um,
one quick sidebar question.
oh
Did
boy.
you watch the new Doctor Strange?
I did. I did.
What did you think as a horror fan?
I did not enjoy it. I mean,
Really? I liked it.
I
I love Sam Raimi though.
a lot of people do. I do. I don't. I hate The Evil Dead. I hate both of them.
Really?
All three of them. The
Well,
TV.
everyone, it's been real. We'll see you next. No.
Yeah, but that's usually what people say. Like even Flannery, he loves The Evil Dead, and I always bust on him. I'm like, I hate it. He's like, how could you make horror movies and be who you are and hate The Evil Dead?
Yeah,
I don't know.
everything about Sam Raimi is what you want to be in life. Like you made it in like he made an independent movie with no money. Everything that you went through,
Yeah,
Sam Raimi wrote the book on.
yeah, I know, and I hate it. I hate the movie. I mean, I'm just not a big fan of. I like his Spider-Man movies, but besides that, Darkman too. I always
Yeah.
liked Darkman, but yeah, I'm sorry, to the world. I'm gonna get a bunch of hate because of
Yeah,
that.
Mario's already saying wow, and I mean he didn't like Multiverse of Madness either, but he said, "Come on, man, Sam Raimi."
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man. I just don't. I don't like the Evil Dead movies, and I do like the remake. I actually adore the remake because it's actually scary. Like
Oh, the Evil Dead remake is done very, very well.
yeah, it's done fantastically, and still doing it all practically with a bunch more money, I guess. I mean, I'm sorry, crucify me.
Now, if people were to say what is the vibe, or if you had to compare it to a mainstream movie or a horror movie they've probably seen, where would Backroads fall into?
I would say it's a combination of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and I Spit on Your Grave, kind of mixed with like a little bit of Wrong Turn. Combine those movies and you kind of get Backroad. But as time went on, like even when I was writing it, I wasn't really writing it as a movie I was going to make. One of my favorite, I wouldn't say favorite movies, but a movie I kind of enjoy watching, but it kind of sucks. It's kind of trashy. A movie called Deliverance from the 70s. And I always kind of considered Backroad an updated, not remake, but like reboot, reimagining of Deliverance.
Mhm.
Something that's more, these people go into the backwoods and they discover humans, not monsters or mutants. They're more humans are the real monsters in this movie, and they're in a way they're all kind of monsters, including Madeline in a way. And if you watch the movie, I don't want to spoil it. There's like little hints that she's really not that good of a person, and I lost my train of thought. Anyway.
Yeah, the people who the protagonists in the movie are not good people you want to root for, because what they did was wrong. Like you said, it's a hit and run. They hit a kid and they try to hide the body. And what the body they end up hiding is a family that they didn't want to mess with. And like it, to me, it has that realism where if you go in certain parts of the, we'll just say Pennsylvania, imagine Tennessee, North Virginia, like all these like backwooded areas, if you're an outsider and you don't know your way around, you can easily be taken advantage of and taken to a spot where no one's going to hear you scream. You know what I mean? And the chances of them finding you are very slim. Like that, there is parts of the world like that. There's parts of that in our country like that.
Yeah.
And that's where the horror sets in, where you're in someone else's backyard and they know every nook and cranny. And that's the scary part about this movie, where from the jump, they are not in control. From the jump, they have no idea where they can go and get away. Like everything about this movie is you are in the killer's backyard.
Exactly. It's their world, not theirs. And like these people, they're almost like given everything in life. Like Fox isn't driving his car, it's his dad's car. They're all just the almost a reflection of today's society. They even changing a tire is a task for most people. Changing your brakes, doing, filling your gas pump. There's some people that never even touched a gas pump in their lives. So like, then they come into the redneck area, these inbreds who, this is their life, and they're slowly destroying it. But with Backroad 2, that whole world is going to kind of open up, because there's a lot more people than you know of kind of coming into this world. And it's a direct sequel to it. It picks up right where part 1 leaves off. So
now the ending I seen, is that still the original ending, or did you change that? Because you said that if you buy the DVD, there's a new ending.
Yeah, the new ending is actually the original ending.
So the one I seen is the new ending.
Yeah, that's the new ending. After, there's actually like 2 endings. There's one where she's kind of,
well, don't say nothing. Yeah.
I keep forgetting we're live here, and maybe people watch the movie. But there's a whole nother ending that it just didn't work out. There's some issues on set. One of the actors got stabbed in the face with a prop knife. A little tiny nick on his lip, but it kind of killed the vibe of the whole day. And I didn't feel, maybe the ending wasn't what I envisioned it being, but I think the ending just kind of suffered because of that little incident. And we were delayed. And part of it was the cinematography as well. You know, trying to shoot it during sunup, like the second it turns from dark to light.
Dark is tough. So
Yeah,
people who don't realize, a lot of times when you watch a movie and it's shot at nighttime, that's edited. That was shot, like, a lot of times they're shot in broad daylight and they
yeah,
edit it to look like it's night. Like, they are so good at editing that you will think it's shot at night and it's not, because shooting
yeah,
in low light for a camera is extremely difficult.
yeah. It sucks, but yeah, the that alternate ending, that was the original ending. I liked it to a point where I actually cut it together, but when I was cutting Back Road together and just watching the footage, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not ending it here. And I kept thinking, like, I need this ending to be a lot bigger and better. And I rewrote the whole ending after the whole movie was done, came back, shot that last scene, and then I still didn't like it, And so I shot an extended ending because, like, it kind of ended just like any other movie where it just kind of ends, and I didn't like that. I wanted a good ending, and that's when I went back to the creek, which you would know
Mhm.
more about that, and shot that little sequence. I was like, this is my ending, and I think that turned out way better than the ending that we originally shot. It just kind of it's just way better in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Now,
And it's shocking. You open with a shocker, you shock people throughout the whole movie, and then you end on something that's so unexpected. And hopefully not stupid, because I think I love movies like that.
yeah.
Unhappy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the That's why I was a huge fan of Sinister, because Sinister, there's no happy ending. I was like, every movie has a conclusion, and Sinister's like, nope, I win. You know what I mean? Like, not spoiling anything, but
Yeah.
that's why I enjoyed Sinister. But so if this is something you don't want to speak on or talk about, that's fine. I understand. But one of the members of the movie, a major member of the movie, has passed away since the time of filming and now.
Yeah, Brian DeSanto, he passed away on Thanksgiving of last year, and in a way, I was more heartbroken because I knew he was in part two, and he was going to go on for like part three, and like I do want to make Back Road a trilogy. It's just finding the time, money, and resources to do all of it. But yeah, when he passed, I was just so disappointed. Um, he was great. He was a great guy. He was difficult at times, but that was just his mindset, and the character that Brian played, brought up a lot of issues in his own life, and I feel like that, you know, caused him to kind of intoxicate himself more and more. So, that he was an animal. I know he loved whiskey, and when he got on set, we were shooting the dinner table scene, and I poured him a little, a pint of whiskey, thinking, okay, you could just sip on it throughout the night. That's enough. He chugged it like a shot, like right down. I was like, he's like, can I get more? And I was just standing there like, all right, here's a bottle. And he killed, I don't know what the correct term is, but
The handle,
yeah, is it the handle jug
I
of
think so. Yeah.
Jack Daniels, and he killed that whole bottle that night. So he was a drinker. He loved his whiskey, and I hope he's free from all his demons. It was just a traumatic loss for all of us. I was
Yeah,
just
he
shocked.
definitely plays the character. Like, you
He
watch him
does.
on scene, you're like, this is him. You know what I mean? Like,
I wish he was in the movie even more. I wish I shot more stuff with him, because, like, I could have used it in either part two, part one, wherever. But I feel like, I think I did mention about rewriting parts of Back Road 2, and they're kind of the parts I need to rewrite. And because I'll never replace them. I could look for people for years and years, and I'll never be able to find someone as talented as Brian. He just brought it. He really did bring it. And the thing about him, he scared the fuck out of all the cast members. Everyone was afraid of him. Everyone hated him. Actually, they didn't want to work with him again. And he just brought that monster to life. He was a monster I helped him create. And hopefully with Back Row 2, I'll be able to kind of fix that little plot hole and continue the story and continue his legacy as that character, because he does play a huge role in part 2 and part 3 as well. And without him, it's still gonna go on, but just a little bit differently without him. So
yeah, well, luckily you do have a good we'll say side partner to him in the movie as a family member who I think on screen very shined like a diamond, and that's Flan. Flan looks like a horror movie villain, and his persona and who he is as a person and his love for horror, he gets it.
It's awesome.
He's the main reason why I watched the movie. I've been a fan of him and his family and his brothers for a very long time. And and when I was like, oh, he's in it, I'm in.
Yeah, he's awesome. And when he came on board, there were like one little sentence descriptions of him, and maybe another paragraph of like action that he would have to follow. And he ended up being in the movie a lot more. Like if you read the original script, Flan's character Cletus isn't really even mentioned in the movie. It's all about Charlie Ray. Same with Remington. Those characters were very minimum. They're just kind of background throwaway characters, and they just brought it and like brought those characters to life. And I added a few other extra scenes with them just because they were so good at what they were doing. I had to use them. But Flan, even though he died in part one, the first one, no offense, he's coming back for part 2, and he's going to be, he might get a bigger role now that, Charlie Ray is kind of in the corner somewhere. So he is coming back not as Cletus, but a new character, because he's different. He got fatter. He looks completely different with longer hair and the beard now. He looks completely different. So it's kind of easy to bring him back in as a new character. And his character is going to be basically Ryan Flannery playing a psycho again, which, isn't too, they're not too far apart. So,
yeah. But another thing with this movie that I feel like a lot of people are going to be really, really shocked with a low budget and independent film, and essentially what you did with what you had. The cinematography is good. The drone shots you used are well over the mountaintops, and everything like that was done very, very well. Camera work was good. But the real show stealer to this movie, and I think the big thing about your productions that you do and your things going forward, if you're interested, go check out recently at Pilguru, they shot a commercial for their upcoming beer, and you guys were behind the special effects and the things that happen in that commercial. But these special effects in this movie are brilliant. There's going to be times where you're watching this where you're like, was that real? Was that a legit thing? Because we'll say during the triggering part of the movie where some people like I said, if you're first time tuning in live or you're listening to this, if there are certain gratuitous scenes that you're not comfortable with in certain horror movies, this is not for you. Like we said before, not a mainstream movie. No. But the scene that is going to be the most triggering to you, most horror movies are going to cut away and make you think with your imagination that what's happening. You guys go for it. And not only do you go for it, but the special effects make you think, am I looking at something that's real?
Well, that's good.
And for being a lower budget movie, independent film, the special effects shine through. So let's give some props to the special effects guy and who you work with.
The special effects guy was Matt Stroger and Tom Smith. Tom Smith is from Sick and Twisted Effects. Matt Stroger, we still work with. He did all the work in the Pilgaroo commercial. He's a fantastic guy. Both of them are good special effects artists, and both of them together just really made them shine. And just I always pushed it because they were like, we could save money by not showing this kind of stuff, and I'm like, no, we're showing it. I want to see it. I want to make people see it. I want people to feel forced to watch it, because like that was the main goal of Backroad, because they're always cutting away. They're always cutting away from the gore because someone's like, oh, I don't want to see that. Well, I want to see it. So, go see like Disney movies or something. If I walk into an R-rated movie, I want to be blown away. I want to feel like I'm watching an R-rated movie. And to me, Backroad really isn't R. It is like that NC-17.
It could be an X. You know what I mean?
X rating. A lot of people are like, is that porn? Are you watching porn? No, I'm not. I'm not making porn. I'm not watching porn. I'm making a homage to like Friday the 13th when they first submitted that. They got their dreaded X rating, which no theater would show, and I wanted to pay homage to that X rating, and show people like, yeah, we could show gore now, because there's a bunch of like underground movies, like unearthed films, the American Guinea Pig movies where it's nothing but gore, and people love that. There's freaks that watch that. I mean, I watch it too, but I don't watch it on, weekly or anything. It's just cool to kind of watch. You're having a bad day. Yeah, cut up this woman tied to a bed for the whole movie. Let's do it. But I did want to tell a story. I didn't want it to just all be gore. I wanted it to kind of, be this intense ride where it just keeps getting worse. Their day just keeps on getting worse and worse, and the special effects that you see, we show them, because like that's a fun part of horror movies, spraying people with blood and showing people killing people having fun, like that's just like disturbing, and that's the kind of movie I want to watch, and like my friends want to watch, and hopefully it gets out to the right people and no one puts it in on like Thanksgiving dinner, even though usually I would watch like I Spit on Your Grave or Cannibal Holocaust, on
There's some Cannibal Holocaust vibes.
Yes, and that's one of my top 10, I would say. Cannibal Holocaust, movies like Salo, which Salo's just, the book's worse, but I mean the movie's just like, no wonder that they killed the director off, before the movie was premiered. So, but
yeah,
it is. Oh, go ahead. I was
a little bit of delay. I apologize.
It's good.
Yeah, like I said, very well done. I think people are going to enjoy it. But like I said, if you're very sensitive things, maybe take a pass on that one. You know what I mean? When we sat down back in 2018, you were at a point where you're not defeated, but you were definitely in this mindset where you're like, I don't know who's going to see this. Like you kind of, when we sat down to the interview, it's like, we're doing an interview about a movie no one can see. You were being shut down by all film festivals, all streaming services. You were in a point of despair. I think there's a little bit of lag. He stepped away for a second. You back? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Your camera turned off for a second.
Sorry.
But yeah, so you were in that spot. And I told you then, and I was like, hey man, don't be upset about this. The audience that you're trying to make this movie for is going to hear it's been banned here. And I told you to use your marketing. I said, lean into this. It's been banned here. It's banned from there. Nobody will play this movie. Nobody will let you see this movie. And you kind of did as well with like you sold popcorn bags and airplane barf bags. You know what I mean? Like you knew what you made. You knew who this audience was for. And I think you're going to be rewarded for that and sticking true to your vision. I'm excited now that people can go online and order this movie and it'll be sent to their house. Link below if you want to buy this movie. And it's super affordable. I think it's like 20 some bucks.
Yeah, $20 and then 25 with the slipcover, which I do recommend you getting the slipcover. Just because it's cool. It's the original artwork and then it's a new artwork below it. The actual Blu-ray artwork is fantastic. But I always love the original artwork as well. And just having that slipcover, seeing two different covers, when you open it, it's awesome. I collect movies, so I have like 5,000 movies in my whole collection. So
yeah, we see a stack behind you.
Yeah, you see, that's my new stack. That's mostly like 50-cent buys at the hometown auction.
Yeah.
Some guys selling 50-cent movies. How can you go wrong? And there's some gems, probably some trash, but whatever. I'll give them out for like Christmas gifts or something.
Yeah.
But
now what the big place that I feel like I thought would have been a home run for you once it was starting to get big was Shudder. What happened with Shudder? Like is that still a thing or is that completely off the table?
Right now it's probably going to be off the table. It's banned. I don't want to say banned, it's red flagged, but I like saying banned because it sounds better. But it's red flagged in all those areas that you keep talking about where there's extreme nudity or violence or gore. They want me to cut it, and I just simply refuse.
Which is insane because there's things in Shudder that you're like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this is a little movie, I guess.
You don't have the legal team to essentially fight back and get it put. Is essentially what
legal
it comes
team
down to.
or money, I guess.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing it like forward with them because like there is a lot of weird stuff on Shudder, even Amazon Prime, Netflix. There's all kinds of weird movies and movies that show this kind of stuff. But I guess it's just too extreme for them.
Special effects guys, your guys killed it.
And I pushed them to show it. They're like, you're probably gonna end up cutting this, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm shooting it the way I'm cutting it. I'm getting the shots that I need that match up in my mind how I see the movie. So like I was always pushing on that. There's only one kill in the movie. It's axe killing, where it's like it cuts away, and that was like, how are we gonna do that, without spending a lot of money? And they killed it on that as well. Even though I think the axe looks a little fake, but that's probably just me. Hopefully, not too many people will notice that. But that's only like cutaway kill that we actually see in the movie. I think I'm almost positive. So
yeah,
I mean, I've only seen it 500,000 times, so who knows?
Yeah, it's something, man. Like I said, it's really it's done well. And it's cool that it came from, essentially came from the Skook,
Yeah.
It's something that I think people in the area can kind of hang their hat on and be like, yo, it's kind of dope that this came from our backyard.
Yeah. About 85% of the movie was shot in Schuylkill County. Like I said before, we had Gears Brewery sponsor us. We showed their products in the movie. We shot down at Pat Garrett's, which I'm not too sure if that's across the Schuylkill line, but it's still local to us, whatever. I wanted to get Yingling to sponsor us. They never responded back, but it's probably for the best because we made our own like beer labels out of IBC root beer. Just stuck them on, and like we had soda, fake drinkable beer, I guess. So it was fun, just getting those little details. I think it was Wyatt Coin Ale or something like that. One of the bands we used, they printed up stickers and they were like, "Here, use these for the beer bottles." I'm like, "Oh, fuck yeah, let's do it." So I slapped them on like a 24 pack. I still have one in the fridge, but it's probably like flat by now, or it's fine. But what was your question? I'm sorry.
Just kind of just talking about the movie in general. I'm actually pulling up some photos here that I'm going to drop in that people can see. So we talked about, the main guy in the movie, unfortunately, who passed away. This is the shot of him here during the movie. And then I just wanted to put this up for people to see. This is the movie And the slipcover right now available. Screamreleases.com. So make sure you go check that out and support some awards won here. I have put up the Film Festival Awards for Best Special Effects, as well as second runner-up for Backwood Hardcore Horror Fest.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I went there. That was in 2019, right before COVID, I believe, or maybe 2018 actually, late 2018, and we went there to Indiana, small little theater, awesome guys that run it, and I didn't expect to win anything because it was a one-day event. There are movies like Clownado playing, and there was another movie by Dread Central that got pretty big a few years ago. I forget the name of it, but it was shot really nice. And Clownado had some awesome gore in it. I enjoyed it, and I hate movies like Sharknado and just any clown movie.
I'm so in for the campy shit. I love it.
I know. I mean,
Velocipaster.
yeah. I heard about that. I haven't seen it. I've seen it on Amazon Prime. I'm like,
oh, it's stupid, but it's great.
I gotta be like trashed to enjoy movies like that, and I don't get trashed too often. And if I do get trashed, I want to watch something good and not waste my time. Like Basket Case 2 or 3 or something like that. But for the that it was just shocking, when they announced best special effects, and I was like, oh my god, Backroad won best special effects. That's awesome. And then right after they did runner-up film or second, I forget how they placed it, like second place or runner-up film something. And I ran back up. I was like, oh my god, we won 2 awards at our first film festival circuit. And that's when I kept pushing it in other film festivals and just kind of wasting time, because like it really didn't go too much further. We did get some special effects, but at the time I didn't know you could still find distribution and still submit to those film festivals. So in that time period, for future filmmakers, I would definitely find distribution first, then start submitting to film festivals, and hopefully by the time Backroad actually, or your movie, not Backroad, your movie actually comes out, you could sell it immediately. There's no waiting. And that was most of the heartache, was just waiting throughout the film festival period, then the COVID period, and then from the time we signed the paperwork for Backroad with Scream Team, it's over a year now since we've signed that paperwork, going on 2 years actually, and the movie's just coming out now. So you have time to do the film festival run and still get the movie out there at the same time without that waiting period. So
So in closing, anything you want to say to the people listening, or words of encouragement for people who want to make a film or anything like that?
Honestly, there's a few things I do want to say about that. When I first started writing Backroad, I had no idea how I was going to make it. I knew I'd have to make it on my own, but then I found a small team, and that's really all you need to get started. Just find people that read the script and they're like, dude, this is awesome. I want a part of it. Like, that's how I found Ryan Flannery. He found out I was making a movie in the Skook. He messaged me. He was like, dude, I want in. I want to know more about it. He read the script. He's like, this is awesome. I'm in. And we're still working together. And just slowly build your team of people that, support you, creatively and like morally, be a good person. And if you have enough passion and drive, you'll be able to do it. Just don't expect to make much money off doing it. That's the thing, everyone wants like that big Terrifier moment, where you make a movie and you make millions off of it. but that comes to people that wait and keep doing it. Even if you don't make it your first time, there's always a second time and a third time, because even with Backroad, I was like, what's next? What am I going to do next? And I ended up doing commercial work and another feature film, and actually 2 feature films after Backroad. And, you just keep working, keep getting it out there and get your movie available to watch to people. The last time we talked, it wasn't out yet, so nobody saw it. I watched it with a few friends, and that's it. So I would definitely just keep going, and if people tell you no, use that as inspiration to keep going, because a lot of people told me no, and I was like, you know what? I don't need you then, move aside. I'll do it myself. So never stop. You got to keep grinding. If you want the retirement life, get a 9-to-5 job and hopefully retire by the time you're 65. But it's a lot of hard work too. You got to put in the time. You work a 12-hour day. You come home, you write, you edit, you plan, and one day it's all gonna work out. So
I love that, man. That's exactly, and that just doesn't go for making movies. That's anything in life. You want to chase, keep doing. Watching the trailer on Drew's YouTube channel, and I subscribed. Thank you. And that's for Mike C. If anyone has any questions, we are closing up at the end here. I want to try to keep this podcast to about 45 minutes to an hour. But when we do these live, so I have a bunch that are scheduled to be live. I have a lot of people in the independent wrestling scene that are going to be coming on, as well as the music scene, and a few other people who just have stories to tell. And I'm just kind of filling in time so people can put their questions in. But what people can expect from this podcast going forward is just people with stories to tell, people who have made cool things, people who have topics to talk about. Even if you're not someone who made a movie, or you're not a professional wrestler, or you're not a musician, this is still open to you. If you have a story or an experience you went through and you feel your story can help somebody, please hit me up. It's not just for creators and small businesses and stuff like that. It's open for everybody. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, please, Anthony Blackwell Jr. on all social media. You can follow me and shoot me a DM, and let's get it set up. I have a bunch of interviews set up, but we can get you in. But here was our first question. Thoughts on Tom Savini? He's my favorite. I know for me personally, I love Tom Savini. I met him twice, and Dawn of the Dead is my all-time favorite movie.
I love Dawn of the Dead, and I'm reaching for something because I
got to hold the cock gun.
The cock gun from Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn, yeah.
That's so awesome. Oh, there goes a bunch of stuff
that sounded expensive.
No, it's fine. So, it's funny. Me and Ryan Flannery have been talking about this since Backroad, and it was going up to Tom Savini and getting a picture of Rick Baker signed by him. That's Tom Savini's autograph on Rick Baker. I thought he was going to fight us, because even everyone that was at the convention, it was a PA horror con. We kept telling him, we're just gonna mess with him because we're jokesters. We like to mess around with like the celebrities because we really don't like fanboy out. When we meet people, I rather meet people and just have a good conversation with them.
Same.
Or like mess with them, And I don't want to say what other stuff I did, but this was probably the best. Just walking up to him, and I'm like, "Here, I have something for you to sign," and I hand it to him. And he's looking at it. He just looks up. But this is Rick Baker. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Can you sign it? He's like, why? I'm like, it's awesome. Well, maybe one day he'll see it. And he signed his name, and we got a picture. It was me and Flannery by it that got it signed, and we took a picture with him. And he's just so happy. And Ryan, he's like, yes, walking around screaming. I was like, so I do like Tom Savini. Rick Baker is better, but Tom Savini did a lot more horror than Rick Baker. As far as Dawn of the Dead, Friday the 13th, Creepshow, which I absolutely love, and what else? The Dead movies, which are my favorite movies. He's a good guy. He actually is a really good, talented artist. But I just like messing with people. I like
Yeah.
messing with autists. But
I met him at Steel City Con,
yeah,
and nobody was at his table, and he was having a conversation with somebody, and I thought it was like his handler or somebody he was with, and I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. I kind of walked up and I was kind of looking at his table, and he's like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Hey, I have somebody else here. Do you mind?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, no problem." So I guess it was just somebody else who was just there, and it
yeah.
was like the day 2 of the con or day 3, and essentially like the guy sitting next to him was just someone who came to his table, and instead of just standing there awkwardly, he like told the guy to come behind the table and sit down and had a conversation with him.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so
You see, I like that more. Just even like not even talking about horror movies, like just kind of stroking his ego. Oh, I
yeah.
love Show or I love Friday the 13th. It's
So
more
yeah,
like
so he had a stack of posters and he's like, "Which one do you want autographed?" And I'm flipping through, and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going. He's like, "What are you looking for?" And I was like, "There's only one movie poster I want to get autographed by you, and it's my favorite, and I can't find it. Like all the Friday the 13th are there, all the Dusk Till Dawns are there." And he's
yeah.
like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "Dude, we're in Monroeville. I want Dawn of the Dead." And he's like, "There's one left. I think it's towards the very bottom." And I pulled it out, and it was the purple yellow background
Yeah.
with the, and I handed it to him. He goes, yeah, he goes, "Good pick." Essentially is what he said. And I was like, "Thank you
Oh,
so much." And got to talk to him, and it was amazing. Another person I met at that con that was very, very gracious and just gave us a lot of his time because nobody was at his table. And I think if you try to do this now, it would be impossible, was Ralph Macchio. Nobody, the Karate Kid.
oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I was just, and nobody was near him because like no one cared about the Karate Kid. Now the Netflix show, like I'm sure if he went to a con, his line would be 14 hours long.
Oh,
Anthony
yeah.
Graves in the chat saying, "Blackwell, what's up?" Anyone else? Any, when I met him, he had his newborn daughter at the time, so yeah, it was just talking cool and not fanboying out. Yeah, super cool dude. And also, Mike, thank you so much for the subscribe. If you guys are watching, please hit that subscribe, hit that like. Thank you everyone for the interactions, and if you can share this out and just say, "Hey, check out this cool interview," and support. Not only does it help me with the growth of my podcast, but I want people to buy this movie and support Drew here so he can continue on his journey. And if you do buy the movie, please head over to his Facebook page, Backroads the Movie, and there's a review tab. Write a review, say what you thought about it. Same with
Good
us, like reviews go a long way.
They really
This
do.
will be out audio only also, but the video aspect will come first to everybody. But anything else, Drew, in closing?
No, just support your local filmmakers, support your local artists. You see us walking around, just come up and give us $1. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, just support, and it could be any way. Just liking their stuff on Facebook, leaving a review, sharing it. That goes a long way because
Yeah,
people might see that are interested in it. Because like people are always asking me like, why aren't you in Hollywood yet? And
because you haven't
hey,
shared my shit.
yeah, you saw my TikTok. And like I love that TikTok about
Yeah.
I heard that. I'm like, yeah, you didn't share my stuff because you share stuff or you like it, and that's all you do. I mean, it's just like you have to support each other. It's not, and so many people look at it as a competition. I'm always sharing other people's stuff when I have time. I'm terrible on social media, especially with birthdays. But you know, if you see us walking down the street or we come into your shop and we're like, we need a place to shoot, help us out, help, come on the podcasts, do whatever you can to help people like us out because we're following a dream and we really want to keep succeeding at that dream because a lot of people think like, oh, we're just like stay at home, like artists that we don't work, we don't do anything. I still have my 40-hour a week job. I'm still hustling, getting stuff done. I sleep like 4 to 5 hours a day, but I'm always working. I don't come home from work and go to sleep. I mean, once in a while, when I was sick a few weeks ago, I came home and went right to bed. But now, it's grind time. I have a few projects that I have to get out of the way before I go to sleep, so just,
Yeah, I have a podcast later, and I have about two to three videos I have to edit. We did some content that's coming on YouTube very soon, and I have to sit and edit. It's a grind, man. I
it
feel
is.
you.
It really is.
And the reason why shares help so much is because algorithms on social media, I have 2,000 friends, but the chances of them seeing a post I just put out is very slim to none because
Yeah.
algorithms because it's all who pays the social media platform to help to help them grow, and they push that stuff first, and your stuff gets buried. That's why if enough people share, that's really really helpful with the shares and the likes. One of the things I just started, I just put in the links below, is we made a Discord. So, and this Discord is set up for not just the podcast, but it's for other people who have things that they want to promote and put out there as well. If I make a Discord of 1,000 people, if we put to say, hey, we're live right now, those 1,000 people are guaranteed to see it because they're on Discord. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to join us, it's absolutely free. That doesn't cost you anything. Download Discord, join the server. We have voice chats all the time, and there's subreddits for every category. So we have one specifically for horror movies. We have a sports talk. We have pro wrestling. We have video games. We have comic books. Come join and let's have some fun conversations. That's all I really got. Drew, thank you so much once again. Make sure everyone goes out, buys Backroad the movie, leave a review, tell people what they thought of the movie. Everyone who joined in, thank you. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. And that's going to do it for episode 1 of the ABJ podcast. Grab your merchandise. Patreon and donations are all in the link tree below as well. I love you, man. Thank you.
Love you too, man. Thank you. And thank you,
hang out backstage so I can give you a proper goodbye, and we're going to close out of here with some music by the Converse Kid, Billy Trey himself, specially made for me. I love him.